I'm going to show you a little bit of my crochet. Obviously, you can tell I've taken this apart 3 or 4 times, but I started doing my crochet right during the pandemic, right when the pandemic hit back in 2020. And I had learned how to do a chain by my grandmother like a million years ago, but I didn't know how to turn. I didn't know how to do any stitches. I could just do one long chain. And so I kind of taught myself and I've gotten kind of good at it. I've kind of gotten really good at crochet. And the reason I wanted to show you this is because you always need to have a hobby outside of doing your life stuff. Do not tell me you're busy. Do not tell me all of those things. We are all busy. Welcome. We all share. We all, look at this. Look at this. You want to be on, look at, I guess he's going to come up here and we're going to chit chat. So he's just going to be part of the show. He sees the yarn. Right? So we already see what's going on. This one's Ezra. But yes, so I started doing it. And the reason that you want to have a hobby outside of your people and your family is because it's just a space for you. And I started making blankets. I made my husband a blanket, and now I'm making me a blanket because I always want to steal his blanket. I'm now doing different stitches, but I wanted to just kind of show you what I do. And the reason I like it, now I have ADHD, you guys know that. So I like crochet because sometimes it's with counting, like sometimes if I have to count stitches, that might be a lot your first time out. So you don't want to do something where you have to count stitches, but I don't mind it because counting is kind of my OCD sort of thing. So I'll show you, and I'm just going to show you some like basic thing just while we chit chat on why you should have like a hobby. It doesn't have to be crochet, but if crochet is your jam, then this one's for you. So literally, I've become super addicted to yarn. I see yarn and I see a sale on yarn and it's like, it's like amazing, right? And you want to start to figure out what it is that you like. But in order to do that, stop thinking, I'm not going to like it if you haven't tried it. And you're going to suck at it at first. Like, it's all good. Like, you're not supposed to grab a tennis racket and all of a sudden you're Serena Williams, right? You're not supposed to do those things. And there's times that even now, and I think most crocheters or people who do any kind of a hobby will tell you, if you golf, if you do diamond art, whatever, you're going to screw things up, and that's okay. You're still supposed to. It's just you become a little bit faster. You're like, oh, okay, I can see the error in my ways. Because when I first started, I couldn't really necessarily see as many errors. Now I'm like, oh, okay, that's an error. I can go back and undo it. And it doesn't have to be crochet. It could be anything that you want, but you do want to find something of your own. Listen, there's times I crochet and I have 874 million things on my task list to do. But if I don't give myself this mental break, this is like, you're always looking for things. You're always looking for tools. So I'm giving you some. And it doesn't have to be crochet. Like I said, it could be anything that you want it to be, but you have to allow yourself to take the time to do it. So I'm going to show you something super basic. I'm just going to do like a chain of 10 and I'm going to show you how to turn around. Again, not a professional crocheter. Like, I follow so many channels, like that's their whole shtick and like that's the jam. And people often will make this whole like starting this thing look a lot harder than it is. So I'm going to show you how I do it. You can do it any way you want. I literally just do that. Like, there's nothing, look, that's it, done. I put my little hook in there. And yeah, there's different size hooks, there's different weighted yarn. I can get into that at some point if you want, but it's not really a crochet channel. I'm just showing you what my hobby is and what I really enjoy. So what I do, so to chain, it's what they call yarn over. So I just go right under and I pull this through. That's one, see? That's one chain. So I'm going to do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, when I started crocheting when I was a little girl, I was like, yeah, I have no idea how to turn this. So I just did 10 to show you. And then, so it's called turning your work, right? So if I'm down here at the end, right, because it'd be going this way. If I'm down here at the end, you literally just turn your work. So there's several different stitches. There's called a single stitch, a half double, a double, treble. Like, there starts to be a lot of different stitches. I'm just going to show you a basic stitch. So in case you wanted to try it, you can literally do an entire blanket in this stitch. So what you do is, you see this little hole? I'm going to try to show you this little hole here. And I'm using a bigger hook than I would normally use because I'm using it on a different thing. So you just stick it in, yarn over, pull it through. You have 2 loops on here, pull it through. That's it. And you'll go through the entire, this is a single crochet. Sorry, I'm trying to do this up and it's like kind of weird. So I'm going to do this all the way to the end while I talk to you. And so the reason why you want to make sure that you have some kind of a hobby or something outside of your family is because you can't put all of your entire life into other humans. This becomes problematic for like empty nesters because your entire life has been being a parent. And that's great. Like you're always going to be a parent, but it can't be your main focus. Like you can't be so focused on all of the kids all of the time that when they leave, all of a sudden you're like, hell, for the last 18 years, this is the only thing that I've been doing, you know, and now I don't know what to do. And your identity becomes these people. Your identity can't be in somebody else. Like you really can't allow yourself to be so attached to humans that you have a whole different set of expectations on these people, because then they go away and then they don't call you for Mother's Day and then you're freaking out and you're like, what did I do? And now your whole being is wrapped in other people. It can't be. So while a hobby isn't going to fix all of your attachment issues, it does help. So, okay, so look, I got to the end of 10. So what we're going to do, right? I got to the end of it. What we're going to do is we're going to chain 1. You can chain 1, you can chain 2, whatever. And this chain 1 is just yarn over, pull through, and see how it's this way. All we're going to do is turn it. That's it. We just turned our work. See how easy that was? And then essentially you could go back through it. You could do a back loop, but like that's how easy that is. You could do an entire blanket this way. If that's something that you're interested in, just let me know. I can easily talk to you about it. And I'm usually faster, but I was trying to talk and do it up at the same time. But well, I just missed my whole desk. But yeah, so, and there's several different projects I got going at once. See that yarn over there? Yeah, I have several different projects going at once because it's my ADHD. And because I have ADHD, adult ADHD, it really helps me because I have different stitches, different projects, different gifts I'm making, different things I'm making. It's just awesome because in order to have this self-love and to have your identity and all of these things that you guys keep asking me for, you have to be able to do the work and understand that you don't need 8 million people around you. You got to be okay with spending time with who you are. You and only you will spend 100% of your life with you. That's it. And so you want to be able to love who you are, because then you're going to walk around expecting other people to love you and to make you feel whole, but then you'll never feel whole because you don't even know what that's like. You can't look for external sources to give you that internal love, because then that becomes codependency, it becomes entitlement. There's an assortment of things that come into play. So I'm interested to know what your hobbies are. Go down here in the comments. Let me know what some of your hobbies are. And you know, it's really fun. And I'm in the middle of working on a blanket of myself, and I'm doing like a whole, like what I think I created, some stitch. I'm doing that right now. Ooh, let me show you. So my first ever project that I did in 2022, this is my husband's blanket. And I did just a half double all the way across. And I did 2 different, you probably, I don't know, can you tell? There's a little tan here and then it goes white. So I did different ones. This is the one I did for him that I'm always under, and I use like a nice thick weighted thing. And I'll show you what I'm working on now. I'm working on a few different things. I've got, this is a blanket I'm working on in a whole different stitch. And I'm working on this blanket for myself. See, this is the blanket I'm working on for myself. So I'm doing like this kind of color, see? That's what I'm working on. You can tell I'm really into this like fall thing. And I'm working on a, can you see the stitch? I'm working on a cable type stitch here. So that's my getaway. This is my jam right here. And you can tell this has been taken apart because I will start something and I'll be like, do I want to do that? Again, ADHD at its finest. But it really does help because it keeps me busy. I can do things over and over again. Like repetitively. There's been times I wake up the next day and I'm like, why is my shoulder so sore? I didn't work out yesterday. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You just crocheted for 8 hours straight. So, but you want to be able to have something that is not anybody else's identity, but your own. Get a hobby.